Hey there, Wall Street winners. It is Friday, October 25th, and can you believe we are 2 months from Christmas? That seems crazy to me. This year has flown by, but we've got some interesting things going on in the market today. If we start off by taking a look at the Bloomberg app, talk about a poorly managed country, Russia. They just raised their key interest rate to a record 21%. Can you believe 21% as an interest rate? Like this is uh, this is hard to believe. This is third world country territory here. And that is what's going on over there because inflation is continuing. So that is not a model clearly that's working versus what we can see in other parts of the world, like the US and Canada. Now, on that front, Canada and the Liberal government has started to look at and introduce changes to its immigration policy because they believe that it is too high at this point and not sustainable due to our inability to keep up with building new houses and new homes to house these folks. So that is interesting, and I think our Prime Minister, Mr. Justin Trudeau, is hoping that that will be one of the things that helps regain him some support that he has clearly lost over his years in power, and talk of him being asked to step down as the leader of the Liberal Party. There's also concern over Canada's economy because Canada reduced its interest rate again by 50 basis points earlier this week. And that is causing an impact on the dollar internationally, the Canadian dollar. So that's going on. Then we've had some reports out of some healthcare companies, HCA today, that their revenues, which were a miss, revenues and profits, were down due to Hurricane Helene and them closing different outlets or care facilities, privately funded care facilities or for-profit care facilities, primarily in Florida, but in other areas hit by the hurricane. So that could be the first of a few different companies that come in with profit and revenue misses that start to blame the hurricane on that. So we'll have to see what comes out of that. But if we take a look at the futures markets, we're in the green today. It looks like we're going to have a strong finish to the week or a green finish to the week. We may not be higher than where we started the week because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were down days, but um, looks like it's pretty positive, and I think a lot of that really coming out of some of the positivity and the positive earnings, primarily from the tech sector. But next week is our really big tech week. But we had a good mix of earnings this week, most of which the companies we follow were positive. The one exception to that was Valero. Valero missed Thursday on their profits and revenue, and they are down because of that, but not significantly because they've been down going into earnings. So maybe it was speculated that that was going to happen. I thought they were going to pull off a bit of a profit and earnings surprise or revenue and earnings surprise, but they didn't. So they're hit, but that could mean that this is a great buying opportunity to get into that company and oil as a sector as we head into the winter months. If we turn our attention back over to the Yahoo finance app, this is where you'll see an article on Yahoo about HCA missing their quarterly profit estimates based on the impact of Hurricane Helene. If we go back over to the main screen, you can see that crude oil is up 64 cents, so it's getting close to the $71 a barrel for crude futures. Down out to December 24th now at this point. We've got the NASDAQ futures up as we saw. The VIX is dropping, so below 19 right now. And if we scroll down through our health and retail, you can see that Costco fell yesterday after having a good day the day before. Looks like it's up in the pre-market. Lulu had a good day yesterday and is up again in the pre-market today. This might be one to start to take a look at going into the holiday season. I'm still a little cautionary on this one, but 303, 298 in that range, it's probably the lowest it's going to be in the next 6 to 12 months, if I had to guess. Now, that said, maybe wait till earnings to see if they've turned the corner with earnings. Those don't come out until December, so it will include, obviously, some numbers from the pre-holiday spending. So we'll have to see what that looks like. But maybe a good question there is just taking a look around. Are people still buying athletic wear and wearing new athletic wear the same as they were before? Then we've got Walmart. Walmart had a good week up until yesterday. It was down slightly yesterday, but not nearly as much as it was up in the days before. Home Depot is starting to recover. So this could be an interesting one as well if interest rates do come down again in November or December by the US Fed, which is anticipated, but probably a quarter of a point at this point in time. And then you've got your healthcare, which Humana is up in the pre-market, HCA obviously down significantly with its miss, and Cardinal. And then you get into transport, and not much going on here. I'm surprised that CNR didn't bounce back after its quarterly announcement earlier this week. It was up the day after, but then at the end of the day, it was down below where it opened at, and then it continued to be down yesterday. We get into oil, and you can see here that I think we'll see green on the screen today in oil. Like, even with Valero's bad quarterly earnings report, it was beat up enough in previous days that it's actually up today. So that's an interesting move. And then you've got crude on the rise and green on most of these others. Then we get down into tech, and I think tech is going to see a very strong day, but it's also going to lead into a very strong week. We've got the Magnificent Seven, for the most part, reporting next week, and we're going to see what's coming out of these large companies. We're also going to start to hear about their greater AI story and implementation of AI. So you've got Micron obviously not reporting, but Micron up, and I think that'll carry the chip sector next week as well if we start hearing positive things around the execution and the benefits that companies are starting to see from AI. So one of the stocks reporting next week will be Microsoft, another Google, another Amazon. So big names in the tech sector. And I think that we're going to see a run up in these names as we start to hear from them. If we scroll down, I think if you're looking at a solid play, whether it goes up or down in the short term, a good long-term hold in the 420s is Microsoft right now. I think the best play in this space right now can't be anything other than Google. Google at 164, it dropped significantly into the day yesterday, and it closed at 164.53. The day before, it was down as well. I think that you're going to see Google hit at least 175, if not get back up into the 185 range with some very positive results coming out of Google this quarter. So I am very bullish on Google out of all of these companies. And I think that when we hear from the likes of Google, when we hear from the likes of Meta in 5 days, and I think Meta in the 560s is obviously a steal. It dropped significantly for no reason the other day, I think down about $16 on the day. I think that's going to have a big impact on the semiconductor stocks, and it's going to push those higher as well. Then we get down into finance, and the company we love most in finance, SoFi, which we've talked about over the last couple of months, is now up almost at $11 and up above 11 in the pre-market. So this stock has just been on a tear. We're very close to doubling our money in SoFi in only, call it, 3 to 4 months. So this has been a fantastic stock to own. And then you've got the big boys, JP Morgan, good day yesterday, off slightly, but I think it'll recover today. Morgan Stanley and Goldman, both good days yesterday and both up in the pre-market today. Raymond James, look at the jump in Raymond James on positive earnings. This company went up 3%. And we said we expected a pullback prior to earnings, and then if they were good, it should jump. But it may not, because it ran up quite significantly into earnings. But boy, it still popped, and that's a nice little return there on Raymond James. So that's where we are today on October the 25th. Good luck with your trades, and if you're liking these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. We'll talk to you.